All right, let's get right into it. If you've spent any time at all with generative AI, you know this exact feeling. One second, it's an absolute genius, it's writing flawless code, it's composing beautiful poetry, and then the very next minute, it's a complete idiot, failing at something that feels incredibly basic. It's this whiplash between brilliance and just total absurdity that is so frustrating. And today, we're going to break down exactly why that happens.
I mean, this quote from the research just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that bizarre, almost hilarious feeling we get when we're using these things. It's an experience that's becoming so common for all of us, but it's still so weird that it really needs a proper explanation.
So that's the big question we're tackling. What is going on not inside the AI, but inside our own heads that makes this whole interaction so strange? Because this isn't just about a simple bug in the code. No, this is a fundamental mismatch between what we're expecting and what this thing actually is.
You know, for decades, we've really only had two mental boxes for technology. First, you've got the predictable tool. Think of a hammer. A hammer does what a hammer does, every single time. No surprises. Then you have the social actor, like one of those old-school chatbots. We know it's basic, but we kind of play along with its social cues. The problem? Generative AI doesn't fit in either of these boxes. It's way too unpredictable to be a simple tool, but it's not nearly consistent enough to be a social partner we can rely on.
And to get our heads around this, the research gives us this brilliant new term, the quasi-creature. That's what we're really dealing with here. It's something that seems so smart that when it messes up, it doesn't feel like a simple glitch. No, it feels like it wasn't listening, or it forgot what you just said, or maybe it even chose to ignore you. It feels less like a system error and way more like a personal betrayal.
And that specific feeling of frustration, it has a name, the Uncanny Valley of Agency. It's that sudden, jarring drop in your comfort level when something acts all smart and capable one moment and then turns out to be completely, bizarrely unreliable the next. It's a kind of cognitive dissonance that just leaves you thinking, what just happened?
And this graph, right here, shows the problem perfectly. Okay, so along the bottom, you've got perceived agency. That's how smart the thing seems. And on the side, you have user trust. Simple tools, like our hammer, are predictable, so our trust is high. A true, trustworthy partner, like another person, is also high. But look what happens in between. There's this massive, steep plunge. That's the valley. That's where the quasi-creature lives, right in that pit of frustration, where its apparent intelligence just makes its random failures feel so much worse. Now, here's a super important point. This is not the old uncanny valley you might have heard about, the one about creepy-looking robots. That was all about appearance. This new idea, the uncanny valley of agency, is all about behavior. It's not about looking weird. It's about a deep mismatch in competence. It's about the disconnect between what the AI seems to be able to do and what it actually understands.
Okay, so that's the whole theory. But is there actual data to back this up? Well, yeah. In an experiment called Move78, researchers had people work with an AI that was designed to be inconsistent, and they measured the cognitive load using a NASA standard. Just look at these results. The frustration level is off the charts, 15.08 out of 20. We're not talking about a small annoyance here. This interaction was genuinely, measurably infuriating for people.
And the core finding really just boiled down to this one single powerful number, negative 0.85. That's the correlation they found between how efficient the AI seemed and how frustrated the user got. To put it simply, as the AI's performance went down, frustration didn't just go up a little bit, it absolutely skyrocketed.
And here's what that number looks like as a picture. It's almost a perfect straight line heading down. This scatter plot, this is the statistical fingerprint of the uncanny valley of agency. It shows you, with cold, hard data, that terrifying plunge from trust into total frustration as the AI's unreliability becomes obvious. This isn't just a cool theory anymore. You are literally looking at a graph of people falling right into the valley.
So the data really points to this web of things that all feed into the frustration. The AI's inefficiency is right there at the center, of course, but it's made worse by other stuff. Our own expectations, in fact, experts got even more frustrated, and just the sheer buildup of one bad interaction after another. It creates this vicious feedback loop of disappointment.
So why does any of this matter? Well, it's a huge deal. It tells us that trying to build AI to be a perfect, human-like copy is a design strategy that's pretty much doomed from the start. It just sets us all up to take that plunge into frustration. Maybe what we really need are interfaces that are more
honest, interfaces that don't hide the AI's alien statistical mind, because just dropping these unpredictable quasi-creatures into really important parts of our world without understanding this dynamic, that's a massive ethical risk.
And that leaves us right here with this final, really critical question. The path we seem to be on right now is chasing this dream of a perfect human-like partner, which just keeps dropping us into the uncanny valley of agency. But maybe, just maybe, the better path is to design an honest alien tool, one that doesn't pretend to be something it's not, and by doing that, actually becomes something we can truly trust.